So welcome, Ken. So lovely to meet you. Thank you for coming in. I think it's going to be a fantastic panel. I'm learning already so much about insurtech. What drew you to be interested and passionate about this domain?
From my perspective, the insurance industry is a phenomenal industry. Every consumer you talk to is involved with insurance. Now, what these consumers are looking for is next generation services in today's environment. So the entire environment, I think, is changing from a buyer's perspective. The other thing that's interesting about the insurance space is that as a venture investor at Sorenson Ventures, I invest in security and infrastructure software. The infrastructure software environment is rapidly evolving. So, for example, what are companies going to do with blockchain? Well, insurance is probably going to be the most forward-leaning industry that's going to be affected by blockchain, in my opinion.
So that leads me on to my other question. Are you seeing many startups in insurtech with using the blockchain?
There are a lot of startups. What I would say about the blockchain is that there needs to be a very focused effort by the startup in terms of creating disruption. And what I mean by that is that startups in blockchain especially need to change behavior inside of corporations. So if I am doing transactions, or if I get data based on consumers or property or any other assets, you need to change the way that you're actually getting that data and putting it onto blockchain, which is always very difficult for large enterprises.
And how are the incumbents reacting to the pressure of the blockchain? I know initially the banks were very resistant, and now they're all sort of getting their own accelerators to develop and get on board with it all. And I even noticed that they sign up on my meetups. So obviously people are having to learn about it. So how are the insurance companies, the incumbents, handling this?
I think they're being very thoughtful about this. So instead of diving in with 2 feet, I think they're doing thoughtful pilots and experiments in certain areas. So you mentioned the banking industry. So certainly foreign transactions, that is one area that's very ripe for disruption, and the processes around foreign exchange, a lot of that can be handled through the blockchain. So what I'm seeing is that enterprises are picking 1 or 2 areas and trying to go deep, and typically they're trying to partner with a startup, which is the right way to do it.
Well, that's fantastic for the startups and great for the incumbents, and everyone wins then, right?
That's right. And like I said, there are other very interesting emerging trends on the infrastructure side, all around security, all around data and protection of data, all around privacy. I think those are other nearer markets for insurance companies to pay attention to.
Fantastic. Well, I'm really looking forward to the panel, and I think it'll be very interesting to hear what you guys have got to say and what your perspectives are on the whole industry. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here.